But there's that, I guess, that fear, that vulnerability, that I want this veneer, I don't want to show people the stuff I'm going through.
Insecurity.
Yeah.
And everybody has it. And some people have more of it than others, and I'm empathetic to that. And then thus you don't win. That's fine. Like what, what's the alternatives?
I guess most people don't think they have an audience. I guess that's the challenge.
Yeah,
right?
most people don't have enough. They don't feel like they deserve it, right?
Yeah, but if you start and a video gets 14 views, we've been very lucky. I think with what we're doing, we've got hundreds of thousands of people listening to this in terms of doing stuff, and globally in a frame. So we kind of feel like we've got a right to go out and talk to people.
Yeah, but the first episode you didn't.
No.
Exactly. When that's the thing, and it's momentum, isn't it?
Of course, like 9 people watched the first episode of Wine Library TV. Like nobody gave a shit for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube before anybody knew what YouTube was. Like I listen. I'm in a funny place. I do things before the medium's even respected. Yeah. Like it's one thing now to be like scared to go on YouTube. It's a whole nother thing when like nobody's even there and believing in it. I get it, man. I'm very, very, very empathetic. It's what makes me a good salesman. I understand why people won't do anything we're talking about here. I just want to remind those people that then eliminates their ability to complain because their actions aren't speaking. And so they would rather sit with their loser friends and share a beer and say how everything is bad than do something about it. And by the way, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I don't know, what are we doing here? Most people die with massive amounts of regret. And I'll have my fair share because we all do. I just like to have less.
So how do you find people, because obviously you guys are kind of building up lots of different companies, how do you find people who, I guess, take that ethos forwards? How do you recruit the right types of people to start?
Firing more than overthinking about hiring.
Yeah, okay.
By going on intuition, and then when we're wrong, helping them exit, doing the right thing. We have something called the alumni program where we help them get other jobs. We're not trying to be bad. I don't want this to sound crass. It's not it's not a machine. I'm emotional about this stuff. It takes me 4 months to fire somebody. I'm terrible at it actually. I dwell. It's a real weakness of mine actually. So I'm crippled by it, but it still doesn't take away the fact that there's no way to know. Sure. Everybody is their most PR'd, most facade version during the interview process. And I have really good intuition and EQ, and I've not been able to be anywhere close to perfect. So I definitely don't believe anybody on my team has it down. Everybody has this pride of I'm so good at, you're so good my ass.
So the scaling the business, does everyone want you? It's like VaynerMedia, right? Where's Gary turning up?
No.
And how does that work?
Let me phrase, sure, there's nothing that we indicate that means you're getting me.
Cool.
And there's no way the company would be, at this point, a lot of people want the company because where we get most of our business from is either me giving a speech or me doing an interview and it leads to biz dev. Then they want me in the first one, but my opening, I make it very clear, this may be the only time you ever see me. Mm-hmm. And so if that's what we're doing here, pay me $150,000 to give a speech instead of, that, we can do that. Yeah. But now the far majority of our business comes from clients that go to other places and want Vayner to work with them because they know Vayner's good.
And that's the thing, that's sustainable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you dream of, right? That's the only reason I built it, because I knew that was achievable.
So how do you actually fit all of this in then? Because it sounds like you've got maybe 4 or 5 different jobs and you've got the media side.
I have one job. I'm the CEO of VaynerMedia. What I think I do well is I document versus create. So when D-Rock's following me around, I have a vlog every day. That's big. When the team watches the whole video and takes 11 of my quotes out of it and sends me I'll literally show you. You'll find this fascinating. I think this is fascinating. I really think that we have figured out how to produce content at an efficiency that hasn't been seen before because we're making it up. But literally, this is what happens. I will get a text from somebody on the team, and these are literally 11 things that I said, nice. Right? Because everything's being captured. I then, as you can see, approve only 5, 8, and 11 of the 11. So only 3 of them I like enough, as I would say them on Instagram. Sure. Then, a couple hours later,
oh wow, nice.
They come through.
Very nice.
Got it?
Ollie?
Got it? Yeah. See what happens?
Yeah. And
then this gets posted by my hands on my Instagram, and then I engage. That's a big deal.
Sure.
So I think what I figured out was the paradigm of if I vlog everything, then I've got the top of funnel creative, then I'll build an infrastructure that allows it to bleed down into the creative micro pieces, and then I know how to use distribution, things of that nature. And when I say that very quickly, it just means I just believe in Instagram and Facebook more than you do. There's just nobody listening right now that believes in it more than I do. I believed in it earlier, I believe in it harder, and when I see something working, I go all in. How many podcasts do you guys do? Once a week? Once a month? What's your
3 times a week.
Right. What's wrong with 5? Right? And by the way, that was really impressive, because that's a lot. So you're
bags under my eyes, right? You know.
But that's super impressive. Like I'm a little bit pissed because I was trying to make a point and you fucked me up. Thank God there's 5 days in a week. I would have hit you with a 7 if you gave me that. The punchline is that's fucking cool, man, and that speaks probably to why so much good stuff is happening. And people are like, oh, my podcast is not working. I get that email. Gary, you said podcasts are a big thing, next thing. My podcast is not working. Once in a blue moon out of 100 of those, I'll go look at it, I'll click it. I'm like, okay. You've done 4 in 9 months. So I'll write back, bro, you've done 4 in 9 months. By the way, I listened to the first 3 minutes. You kind of suck. Like, it's just because, listen, here's a good strategy. Become a world-class singer. It's a good idea and financially smart to become a massive pop star. I think you should become Beyonce and Rihanna. That is a good strategy. Now what? Right? Like, that's what's happening with entrepreneurship. You don't get to become a successful entrepreneur because you put it on your business card. This is execution and talent. The key is self-awareness and figuring out what you're good at and what you like enough to do it every goddamn day. That's the real secret to this whole thing. And so I like being a businessman, and that's why it's actually working.
So it's been amazing to have our $100,000 session. Thank you again very much. We got loads of big banks that listen and the kind of decision makers there. Like, how do they connect with you or with VaynerMedia? What's the problem that you solve for them?
We're reverse engineers. The problem we solve for them is their problem. I don't care if what you meet, Chase is a client of ours in the US, right? Like, they're huge. They have 1 million problems. And when I say problems, the truth is, and I'm sure you guys feel this way, they have 1 million opportunities, sure. Right? Do they want people to open up bank accounts? Great. There's a strategy for that. Do they want to recruit talent? I mean, I would tell you a lot of people who are listening right now, the biggest thing I think, so we have a division called Vayner Solutions. It's run by Dennis OG. I can't even pronounce, I'm Russian and can't pronounce his last name. When I think about the $150,000 audit that we're selling, because we're not Bain or McKinsey yet, and we would normally, in 4 years, we're going to sell, what I'm about to tell you, we would sell for $150,000. A bank listening would reach out to us and say, hey, we want you to audit our ability to acquire better talent for our bank from a technology and innovation, not developers, but marketers and executives who have digital DNA so that our bank can survive this inevitable death blow that whether it's cryptocurrency or Apple and Google and Amazon and Facebook's foray into their world, this is what's gonna happen to them. Well, when I think about the $150,000 package we play for the audit and then the output and the advice and the presentation, that is ridiculous ROI. I also am empathetic to why they don't see that. And then I'm excited for them to not buy it now, but buy it for $1 million in 4 years. But that's something I think a lot of banks and B2B companies should be hiring us for. And then the video output, right? I just think nobody makes the modern day commercial better than my company. If you want to spend $300,000 to make something happen, I think our $150,000 video and our $150,000 Facebook ads and influencers on Instagram will give you a better chance than any Google or programmatic, any commercial, any print. And so that's what we strive to do.